What's up, guys? Lewi here. How's it going? A lot of us get stuck in the mindset that we're the only ones that can do what we do. And it's really a trap that we set for ourselves, especially when you're an entrepreneur and you run your own business, not just in real estate, but you're so used to like grinding and doing everything yourself that when it's time to let go, you don't notice the signs telling you that it's that time, and it's very, very hard to do it. So today I want to talk about how we're doing that, how to go about making that process, making that leap into using a virtual assistant, which is what I do with my business. So VAs are kind of like a buzzword. You've probably heard a ton of people talk about it. A lot of people really, kind of go on and on about, I use my VA for this or for that. But no one really explains like the process of how it even works. How do you get them on board? What does it look like to hire someone like that? How do you, share personal information or passwords or stuff like that with a virtual assistant who's typically outsourced in another country, and where do you even start with it? So really, I have a VA for a couple of things. I have one who is my video editor, who is editing this video right now as we speak. Jan is awesome. I use him for all of my video. I have him on a monthly retainer, and he just edits all my videos and some of my team's videos and all that good stuff. And the reason that he was the first hire that I brought on was because it was taking up too much of my time to edit videos myself. So I used to film the videos, edit the videos, upload the videos, put them all in, all the keywords, all the tags and all that stuff, then send them out, and then, tag people on social media. And it's like, it's a long process. But when I really dove into it and looked at what the biggest hang up was, or the biggest time suck was, it wasn't this creative part where I'm talking into the camera. It wasn't like uploading things because it was super quick. I had templates and stuff like that. It was the video editing process. And if you have a YouTube channel or you've tried to edit videos in the past, you can know how much of a time suck that can be. And it really is something that's just, if you don't do it professionally, you should just outsource that. Now, you don't have to get a VA for this. You can do it on Fiverr, you can do it whatever, but it is definitely worth outsourcing. So it's super easy to figure out what that worth is. All you do is you take last year's income, so find out your entire income for last year, and then from there, we just need to figure out how many hours you worked. Now, unless you track hours like crazy, it's kind of hard to do. So you just average this out. And you have to be ruthlessly honest with yourself here. If you're working 12 hours a day, 16 hours a day, or 8 hours a day, or 6 hours a day, definitely, be honest with yourself, because this is how we're going to calculate what your hourly worth is. So say you work 7.5 hours a day. You're going to times that by 5 days a week if you're only working Monday through Friday, and there's 52 weeks in the year. So that's 1,950 hours worked for your year. Following me so far? Okay, so let's take how much money you made. Say it was $100,000. So then you just do $100,000 divided by 1,950 and you get $51.28 per hour. So now you have your hourly rate, or at least an average of it. So now you have it. So for me now, what I do is I look at that number, and anything that I can outsource that's less than that number, I'll do it. Because if $51.28 is my hourly rate, and maybe I want to hire an events planner and they only cost $20 an hour, then that makes sense to do it, right? Or if you're building up a team and you need admin support and they're the same rate, then that's what you do. You outsource it, and this is how it works. So really, you have to value your time in order to do this. And it can be super challenging, honestly. Like, sometimes when you bring someone on, you're like, oh my gosh, okay, well, this is going to cost me like $1,000 or $1,500 a month. But you have to really think about what you're gaining back. You're gaining back the time that you can put in to other money-making activities. And I always talk about this second brain idea, but this is it, right? If I outsource the things that can be done, by not anyone, but it can be done not just by me, and I can just focus on the creative things that only I can come up with, then this is going to make me work more efficiently. It's also going to be much more enjoyable to work through the process. So this is a big thing for me, in this year, in 2023, I really want to bring on quite a few different VAs for different things that can help me with, events, with onboarding for my team, with some admin stuff, with some calendar control, and all this different stuff. So I'm going to be bringing on a few more people this year. And this is where the company that I use, actually do a really, really great job. And this is not sponsored by them. I am just a client of this company, but you can definitely check it out in the link below. The company that I use is called Sphere Rocket. And there's a couple of reasons that I like this company. You know, I met Justin, the founder, at EXPCon last year. I had kind of been interested in VAs and kind of figuring out, like we're doing right now, like what is it for? Like what do I outsource? How do I start this? But I knew there was a play there. I just didn't know how to do it, how to get started. Now, one of the things that you need to know about virtual assistant companies, typically they're based in the US and then they outsource to the Philippines or wherever that may be. And they charge like an admin fee and then you pay your VA. So, you know, they get their fee for facilitating, you know, getting the assistant and getting them into your infrastructure, and then they take a monthly cut from that. Then you pay your VA on top of this, which is fine. That's what every company does, and that's totally fine because that's, you know, the service they provide. But the difference with Sphere Rocket, which I like, is that you can add on without having to pay another monthly fee. So if I was at a different company using them, if I had my video editor, I pay them the fee for them, and then I pay my video editor's wages. And then I maybe bring on like a, you know, executive assistant. I'd have to pay another set of fees to the company and then pay the assistant's wages and so on and so forth. And this builds up over time, especially if you're going to do a bigger play like I'm planning on. With Sphere Rocket, you have that one admin fee to the company, but then you can add on as many VAs as you want with no extra monthly charge from Sphere Rocket. And that's what really drew me to them, because I like that kind of flow, because I'm trying to add on, I'm trying to kind of do big things. And obviously keeping those expenses down is great for me. The other thing for me I love is that they're a real estate company. So, you know, the founder, Justin, he's with EXP Realty and he built this out. So obviously they speak your language. They know what you're looking for typically inside of real estate when you kind of ask them what you need and kind of write that next job description. They know what you're looking for because they've been built out through the lens of real estate. So how does it even work? And how do you know that you should even get someone? Well, think about this. Think about the tasks that you just hate doing, or the tasks that you feel overwhelmed with, or the tasks that get in the way of you doing other, you know, productive work that can bring you income. Think about those tasks, and if they're really kind of taking over your day and taking too many hours out of your schedule, that's what you should be outsourcing. Or if you just have a creative idea and you don't know how to do it, like a video editor, then that's who you should outsource. Because let me tell you from experience now, having someone who works for me full time that I just send my videos to all the time is an absolute game changer. A game changer in my business, because now I don't have to worry about it. I just do this creative piece. As soon as I stop filming here, I'm going to upload it, send it to Jan, and then I'll get it back the next day or a couple of days and it's good to go. And if you're kind of thinking, well, maybe I do need someone, but I don't know, on Sphere Rocket's website, there is a list of like, here's like everything you could outsource to a VA, like everything, including like, you know, your calendar schedule, emails, like tons of stuff. I know someone who doesn't actually check or send emails anymore. They have an assistant that does everything for them. In the morning, they label all the emails and then they call them like, here's the important things you need to, you know, talk to people about. It's kind of chaos. But, you know, you can outsource pretty much anything. And the cool thing is with Sphere Rocket, you go through an interview process. So it's not like you just sign up and they're like, okay, here's your VA. It doesn't work that way. What I like is that you get on a call with someone from the company and they ask you a bunch of questions about what you're looking for, what you need, you know, what your budget is, everything like that, so they can get it dialed in. Then what they'll do is they'll go and find a bunch of candidates and then get back to you in like a week and be like, okay, hey Lewi, I've got 7 candidates here and we're going to go through an interview process. And it's just like being on Zoom. You're just right there and you just go through this interview process with each one. And there's a person from the company on the call. You're on the call, and then the candidates are in like a waiting room, just like they would be in a real interview, and they drop in and drop out like that. The person kind of leads the interview, then you chime in with different questions, and then when it's time, you can pull them back in and do a second kind of round of questions, and then you hire who you want to hire. So it's really, really cool. There were some great candidates last time. Obviously, when I hired Jan, my video editor, there were some great candidates, but I just knew what I was looking for, and as soon as he came on and started chatting, started kind of showing me his his highlight reels and stuff, I was like, oh, this is my guy, 100%. And obviously we vibed together. I kind of got a bit of his background and he got a bit of mine, and it was good to go. So I think that's a very important part of it, is finding out people's why, finding out people's, circumstances, what they're doing things for, because that way they do become an employee of yours. So taking care of them is something that you really want to be thinking about. It's not just like having a robot to do your work for you. You're hiring a real person who you're now responsible for, in reciprocation for the work they do. So definitely something to think about when the hiring process comes around. So I would go through that process, guys. Go through the hourly wage process where you dial all in, figure out how much that you actually make per hour, and then look at those tasks, look at your calendar, and really start to diligently think to yourself, okay, is cleaning up email like really worth $50 an hour for what I'm doing? Or is cold calling through lists of FISBOs worth my time? Why would I not get a VA to do it and then send me the hot leads? Stuff like that. Anything you're trying to do, it can be outsourced, as long as you can put that effort and time that you've got back into something more valuable. And that's the one slip up that a lot of people get. You hire a VA, they start doing your thing, but all of a sudden you're like, oh, because you haven't taken advantage of the time you've got back. A lot of people do it and then their time is freed up and they're like, oh, all right, I guess I'll just play PlayStation today. And it's like, no. You're hiring that person to take time off your hands so that you can put it into productive action. And that's the biggest thing, okay? So make sure you have big goals that you can work towards when the other stuff is outsourced. So again, guys, don't set that trap for yourself where you think you're the only one that can do your things. Ryan Serhant actually says it best. He only does the things that only he can physically do. So only things that he can physically do is the things he does. He outsources everything else. So maybe you want to start taking an audit of your day and just write down what you're doing and then look back through it and be like, okay, could someone else have done that? Yep. Could someone else have done that? Yep. Could someone else have done that? No. And then you can really start to see, okay, here's the things I can outsource and go from there. So anyway, guys, Sphere Rocket link is in the description. It's definitely worth having a conversation with them and seeing where they can take you and how they can help you out in your business. But I'm telling you guys, 2023 is going to be a year of growth for a lot of agents, and a lot of agents are unfortunately going to get left behind. I believe that the ones that really put systems into their businesses and start to truly audit their time and audit their financials and audit the way their business is running are the ones who are going to succeed. So it's definitely something to check out. I will be adding more on as the year goes by. I'll give you some updates on who I'm hiring and why I'm hiring them. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment below, and I'll see you on the next one.